In this box is the cheapest full-size sport bike from Amazon. And in this video, we're gonna be seeing if a brand new $2,500 street bike is any good. And then we're gonna go installing this miniature turbo to see if we can't boost this thing's performance. All right, that's enough talking. Let's open this box. I know Taylor is stoked to see this. I'm stoked to see this, but it has a special place in Taylor's heart. This took a very long time to get here. We had some problems with shipping, but it's here and it's time to check it out. The great reveal.
Okay.
Oh, it's literally covered.
It's covered. But look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Just rip it up some.
Oh my gosh.
EFI.
This is fuel injected.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
I don't know how put together it is.
The wheels are on. I bet we just take it out of the box and take it for a ride.
Pretty much, I think so. So far, I'm pretty impressed. We have disc brakes all around. We have rear sets for a passenger. And the plastics look pretty nice. But I want to see the whole bike, so let's get it out of the box and see what it looks like.
We've got our new motorcycle out of its box, and the only things that we had to install are these mirrors and these handlebars. So it was super easy to put together. At first glance, a couple of the proportions seem like they might be off a little bit. We've got a giant tail section back here and an extremely small tank. But if you were to park this on the road, I don't think anyone would know that it came from Amazon. Our suspension is a little bit squishy, but we've got a super premium 1.2 exhaust that looks like it might be titanium. We've got gas in the tank. Let's see if this thing fires up. This bike is fuel injected, so it should fire right up. It should fire up. It probably was in storage for a very long time before it got to us, but let's just give it a go. Dude, check out this dash. That's actually quite nice.
Wow, that looks really new.
It's pretty funky that the empty sign is at the top and the full sign is at the bottom. I've never seen that before. But let's see if it just rips right to line.
Okay.
Holy cow! This sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
For 2,500 bucks? That's an exhaust note.
That does not sound bad at all.
That sounds pretty premium. Let's see if it goes into gear.
Huh? Well, it went into gear.
I'm just a bad rider. I stalled it. Wow, that clutch engages like crazy, but the brakes work. I wonder if we'll do a little burnout. Not really.
A little one, yeah.
It barely has the power. We've got a really small sprocket on the back, but honestly, for the price, that's a steal. I'd be pretty happy if this showed up at my door, put some gas in it, and just got to ride it around. I think we take this out on the road and see what it can really do.
First test drive on the Amazon street bike. Let's see what it's like. I don't have high hopes, but I'm hoping that it proves those wrong. I guess we'll just start it off, see how quick she is. Oh. Okay. Looks like red line with this gearing in third gear is about 50 miles an hour. Not terrible, I guess. I will say one thing. This seating position is just awful. The seat is soft, but I don't know what the position is. Like, you're upright, but the seat's slanted, and it's really uncomfortable. I'm pinned! Well, I'd say it takes about 8 to 10 seconds to get to 45 miles an hour. I feel like a turbo could greatly improve that time. It just needs a little more juice, just a little bit more juice. And it would be, honestly, so much better. The suspension is like really, really weird feeling. Like it's like gummy. It just feels like I feel super disconnected from the front of the bike, which I don't love.
Holy cow. First opinions?
Well, do I look cool?
You look very cool. It's got the cool factor. It looks pretty sweet. It looks like a bigger bike, honestly.
It doesn't feel like a bigger bike, and it is pretty slow. I think it definitely needs the turbo. But with a turbo and it looking like a bigger bike, pretty slick. Maybe add some speed to this thing. I just think it's turbo time.
Okay, now that we have a good baseline on what this thing feels like out of the box, let's pull these plastics off and figure out how we're gonna mount this turbo. We got all the plastics off the bike, and now we've got a way better idea of where we're gonna mount this turbo. I was originally thinking it was gonna go on the front, but that's gonna make our intake piping way too long. So now I'm thinking the turbo's gonna go in the rear, and then we can rotate the turbo housing and shoot straight back into the intake, making our piping way shorter. So the first thing we gotta do is pull this exhaust off, cut it up, and mount our turbo. Now that we got this section cut out of our exhaust, we've got to figure out a way to mount it to our turbo. So I'm going to make a little stencil out of cardboard and then make it out of metal, weld it to this, and bolt it to our turbo. We got the exhaust side of our turbo built and bolted up, and now we've got to figure out how to connect it to the exhaust going to our engine. And I want it to sit something like this. So we're gonna have to cut our stock exhaust, lower it a bit, and then it should mount right up. All right, let's see if this thing fits up. We shortened the exhaust, it should fit. Do we have enough room for it to fit?
Hopefully.
Oh, is it that not the coolest thing you've ever seen?
That's fully on?
That's fully on. That looks sick.
Yeah, that looks really nice.
Now we've just got to figure out how to take the boost from the turbo to our intake. So that's what we're gonna work on right now.
But before we do that, we're gonna take a break to tell you about today's sponsor, Onyx Off-Road. Even though we're turbocharging this bike right now, we're always planning for our next trip, and Onyx is there to help. Their Discover tab has helped us find places that we didn't even know existed, and they help us plan for the best adventure possible. I was thinking that once this thing has its turbo, we might want to take it out on some local trails. So we hopped on Onyx's route builder, mapped out a couple routes that we might go and hit when this thing's making some boost. My favorite thing about Onyx is that it's super easy to use, and they have an offline maps option that is really useful for us because when we're leaving the shop, we're usually going somewhere that does not have cell service. If you want to get more out of Onyx, you can sign up for their Elite membership. This gives you access to private land information and recency imagery that is updated every 2 weeks in the United States. That way, you can plan for your perfect next adventure. If you want to try out Onyx, you can use code BUMP for 20% off or click the link in our description. Now let's get back to the video.
For our intake, we're going to be using this thermos as a plenum. We need a plenum because this is a single cylinder engine, and this will ensure that we're getting an even, consistent flow of air from our turbo. But this thermos is a little too big, so let's make it smaller. Hey, it even came with instructions. So we went to shorten this thermos, and it turns out it's about as thin of metal as a Coke can. So it's gonna be really hard to weld, but I'm gonna give it my best shot. Last night we finished up our plenum, and this was extremely hard to weld because it's about as thin as a Coke can. But as the old saying goes, a grinder and paint will make you the welder you ain't. Now we've just got to install this plenum and the front of our turbo housing on the bike, and then we can start working on an exhaust. We've got our turbo fully integrated, and if we turn the bike on right now, it would work because it's completely connected to the engine. But it would be extremely loud. So we've got to go building an exhaust, but if you come down here, you'll notice there's really nothing to build off of, so we've got to make a plate for the back of the turbo that we can make something off of. Making this rear plate is actually going to be pretty easy because with the turbo from Amazon, it comes with this little gasket. So we'll just take this gasket, put it on some metal, trace it out, cut it out, and then bolt it to our turbo. Now that we got our custom downpipe flange bolted to the turbo, it's time to work on an exhaust. And for the exhaust, I want to use the stock pipes. We're going to take them, bolt them up like this, and then we'll take some tube from the turbo up to the pipes so that we keep that beautiful stock sound that this bike is known for. We got this stock exhaust back on, and while I was looking around, I found this piece that we cut out when we were originally turbocharging this bike that fits perfectly right here. I don't know if you guys can really see that, but it fits perfectly between the turbo and the exhaust. We're just gonna have to cut out a little bit of material, and it should fit right in, and then we can weld it up. Now that we got the exhaust back on and connected to our turbo, let's throw the plastics on it and see if this thing's gonna start. Everything's set up on the bike and it is ready to start, but I realized we never showed you how we're oiling the turbo, so I just want to show you guys that really quick. We've got this little oil fitting at the top and an oil block-off plate right there, and we just pump oil into the turbo and it sits on the bearings, hopefully making sure that this turbo doesn't overheat. Wouldn't be a great setup for a long trip, but that will work just fine. All right, let's see if this thing starts up. I'm so excited.
I hope it does.
Do you think it's gonna spool?
Oh yeah.
I think it's gonna spool. I'm wondering if it's gonna make boost. We have a Plenum, we have a great exhaust system. There shouldn't be any leaks, so let's just give it a go. We also changed the oil. There was shipping oil in here, and that's like vegetable oil, so we've got some 1040 in here, just to make sure things don't overheat and blow up. Oh man.
All right, give it a crank.
Easy peasy.
Okay.
Oh! Oh my goodness! That sounds nice too!
Yeah, it is spooling too, right?
Oh, it's spooling fast. You can't see the turbine spooling so fast.
Nice.
Oh dude, this might be the first legitimate turbocharged project that actually makes boost. That is a nice setup. I say we take it out to the test field and see what it can do. We are at the runway and we have our turbocharged Amazon bike. It's time to see if we've improved it or made it worse by adding this turbo. We're gonna have Taylor go first because he has more seat time on the bike, so he'll kind of get to know if it's any better or if it's any worse. We're gonna do a couple of tests, a speed test, and I also wanna see if it's gonna do a burnout. So let's take this thing out on the road and see what it can do. Even if this bike isn't any faster, the turbo adds about 100 times aura, so.
It is pretty cool looking.
It looks really cool. I think it's gonna be faster. We have a Plenum, we have a great exhaust, we have no leaks on the turbo. Should be a great time, but we're about to find out. Just use that butt dyno of yours and see if it's any faster, man.
Well, my butt dyno is locked in, so. Is it gonna start up again so easily? Okay. All right, let's see. Testing Amazon sport bike with a turbo. Really doesn't feel so bad. You know, I think, yeah, I mean, it feels pretty zippy. I think last time, I don't know, I think last time it took about 10 seconds to get to 45 miles an hour. I feel like that may have been more like 8 seconds. So that is an improvement. That would be an improvement. It's not bad. I mean, we started at a pretty bad bench line of, you know, nothing should, I don't even think like a Geo tracker is as slow as this thing was, but it seems better now. That little bike is absolutely flying. I can't believe it. It's pretty sweet, actually. It sounds good, it looks good, and I'm thinking, I'm not on the bike, but I think that turbo made a difference.
Dude, you are absolutely flying. Do you think the turbo made an improvement at all?
Dude, I actually think it did. Crazy enough.
I could barely keep up with you on the drone.
Yeah, I was going pretty fast, honestly. I feel like before, the 0 to 45 time was about 12 seconds, give or take 1. But now I would say it's probably closer to like 8 or 9.
Did it improve our 0 to 60 time or our top speed at all, or is that about the same?
Well, once you hit 45, maybe it's a gearing problem. It just lacks power a little bit, but it did before.
Yeah, and our sprocket, if you guys check this out, it's extremely small. So I feel like that's a determining factor on top speed, but an improvement in acceleration is awesome.
I think so. It does hit 60. It just might be like a 20-second 60.
Oh no.
This is like a half-mile long road. It takes to the point where I have to brake or else I'm going to fly off the end to hit 60, but it hits it.
I'm wondering if our turbo is super hot.
I don't know.
Honestly, no, not really. So our oiling system does work.
Well, that's good to know.
That's premium. All right, now that we know that this turbo didn't decrease our power and possibly even upped our power a little bit, I want to see if this thing can do a burnout, because out of the box, it was not able to do that. So I'm gonna hop on here and give it a go. Do you think this is gonna work, dude?
I'm 50-50.
We've got a spoolie boy now, so we should be able to pick up enough power to do a little bit of a burnout. It'd be nice. I mean, it looks like it should be able to do a burnout.
I know, it looks so fast.
So if it can do one, we're winning.
It's official!
That was so easy. Before, nothing happened. I think that alone is proof that our turbo is doing something.
Oh yeah.
Because before, you would try to do a burnout and it would instantly kill the bike. That rips its tire off.
And when we tried it before, the shop floor is a bit smoother than this, so...
Way smoother. We've tried to do burnouts here before, and even some of our bigger projects have a hard time out here. That is awesome. You could even hear the turbo. I don't know if it came across on camera, but you could kind of hear the turbo going, shoo, shoo, shoo. Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy. Now that we've got a warm tire, I think it's time to see if this thing will do a wheelie. All right, now if this thing can do a wheelie, that's gonna be the ultimate test. I kind of have my doubts. We've got a really small sprocket, but maybe the turbo will help that. Let's give it a shot.
I don't know if that little hop really counts as a wheelie. Maybe he can get it up a little higher.
That is a no on the wheelie. That is a no on the wheelie.
Hey man, you got it up a little bit.
A teeny tiny bit. It literally, you could go to Revline, hold the clutch in, pull back with all your might, and this heavy son of a gun will not wheelie. So that's a no on the wheelie. The last thing I want to do to test out our turbo is to see what the real top speed is with a GPS. So let's do that now. For this final test, we're going to be using a GPS app to make sure our top speed is accurate. We're going to go down that road and back and see how fast our new turbo bike can really go.
3, 2, 1, go! Holy cannoli, he's flying!
5 miles an hour on the dash. So I'm kind of wondering what that's going to look like on the GPS.
Let's see. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't accurate.
If it was a little lower.
Yeah.
Let's see. The GPS always tells the truth. 59 miles an hour. So the speedometer is like 7 miles an hour off.
Yeah, that's pretty off.
That's pretty off. But 59.8, so 60 miles an hour.
That's really not bad.
That's really not bad. I'd be curious to see what they say this bike can actually do online.
Yeah.
If we went over that, I'm gonna call it a win. But that is actually pretty scary to do on this bike. The suspension's janky. I think if you rode this over 100 miles, you'd have back problems for the rest of your life. But that's pretty fast. 60 miles an hour.
That's a win.
4th gear all the way down. It has 6 gears, so I feel like if you weighed a little less than me and you really laid on that tank, you might be able to get it to go 70. All right, that's it for this video. I'm quite impressed with the turbo setup. I really think it did make a difference. We weren't able to make a Burnout before, and now we can do a pretty gnarly one. Top speed seems to be about the same, but our acceleration has gotten a lot better. If you like these videos, we post every single week, so make sure you subscribe and have a great day.